It's time to talk about Black Ops 6. I got to play it early at COD Next, and we're gonna go over every single thing in this video. Multiplayer, zombies, Warzone. We're gonna rate them all. We're gonna talk about them all. And at the end of this, we're gonna see, is it actually worth it to even buy Black Ops 6? So, let's dive in. This video itself is just gonna be me kind of rambling, like we're talking, we're sitting down, grabbing a little bite to eat, and I'm just explaining to you my thoughts about the entire game. I don't normally do it like this, but I felt like for this type of situation, it was perfect because honestly, what's so fresh in my mind right now, because I literally played the game about 2 hours ago. I live, the event was in Washington, D.C., in the heart of D.C. First of all, absolutely awesome event. The pictures don't do it justice of what they had. They had this huge zombie thing that set like a Guinness Book of World Records. They had, we were inside of a museum playing Black Ops 6 with this whole thing decked out with like the truth lies and the marketing and the branding and the ATVs. I'm just trying to think of all else it had. It had Black Ops, like the board of like, we're trying to find the person that's doing the thing, like the search board from Cold War. I mean, it was just a really, really cool event. And listen, I'm always going to be grateful for getting invited to these things. And you guys allowed me to do this. So thank you. Real quick plug. We are doing a beta code giveaway on Twitter. It's going to be in the description down below. But it's enough of this. Enough of talking. Let's go over this game, Black Ops 6. And I want you to, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am going to give you unfiltered thoughts. And before we even start, I know the devs are probably going to watch this. I know people at Call of Duty are probably going to watch this. I want to let you know this is going to be me giving constructive feedback. I am not trying to crap on anybody's work. I don't want to do any of that because look at me. I got every Call of Duty. I bought every Call of Duty. I've played every Call of Duty. I love Call of Duty. I'm an absolute freak of nature for Call of Duty. So like, me saying this stuff is only because I want this franchise to be back on top again, because I know it can be. So let's start in multiplayer again. We're going to go through every single one of these modes that we played, multiplayer, zombies, Warzone, and we're going to rate them out of 10. And we're also going to do like a final rating of the whole entire package. And I'll kind of let you know, like, is it kind of worth it? Should you buy it? Should you wait? All that good stuff. So let me go into multiplayer. And let me start off with, if you liked Cold War, this is my first initial reaction, was if you really, really liked Cold War, I think you'll absolutely love this game. I know I saw a lot of comments in my live stream that they're like, wow, it looks like Cold War. It looks like an updated Cold War. To me, this felt like the game that Treyarch probably wanted to make back in 2021. But unfortunately, you know, the whole thing popped up where we were all stuck in our houses and they never got to fully kind of do their thing because people were working from their homes. They were doing audio voices from their home. They were barely doing mocap. Mocap was at the home. So were they really going to throw this Omni movement feature where they couldn't really test it or trial it into this whole mess? I don't think that they had like the resources. That's my guess. That's off just a hunch. And I think now they're really trying to be like, okay, this is what Cold War could have been in 2021 with the movement and all that stuff. First of all, let me say the movement is really clean. I will say the movement does feel like standard running. To me, it reminded me of Cold War. Cold War Treyarch has always got, and I don't want to use the word clunky because clunky always gets like, it always gets like a bad connotation, but like this is like, it's a clunky, but it's not a bad clunky. It's like Cold War, but smoother. And the Omni movement allows you to kind of do crazy stuff. Obviously, you probably saw a bunch of people diving left and diving right. And I mean, honestly, I had a blast with the movement. I mean, it was the game that I had wanted to play for a long time, like that classic feel where we weren't just doing all this crazy nonsense, but it was calculated. I mean, I was diving across, aiming down alleyways. Do I see this kind of being broken? Do I think people will be able to really have a big skill gap because of this? Yes. And I don't know if that's going to be good for Call of Duty or bad for Call of Duty. I think a skill gap always helps the game. But in this in this time of gaming, like, I don't know. Will people be like, oh, I can't keep up with this, I'm not playing it? You know what I mean? That's what I do worry about a little bit. But again, Modern Warfare 19 had slide canceling, and people caught up, and people wanted to get better, and people wanted to do all these, you know, watching Joe Woe doing all his movement stuff, and you're like, oh wow, like let's try to mimic this and try to be as good as the person that I'm watching. So I'm hoping, you know, when you watch streamers or content creators and you go, wow, that is like insane movement, I want to do that and learn, you know, the combos and all this stuff. I think that is going to be something that I really, really enjoy trying to kind of conquer again, because again, this is all kind of new. It's not like MW2 to MW3 where we just got to we got like slide canceling. Like it felt like the same game, but it was just like, okay, here's slide canceling. And I feel like now this feels like a totally new branch, like, okay, Cold War, but we're going to get like next level Cold War. And so that was my first thought on how we were moving and grooving. As you can see, we kind of went through, I'm gonna have gameplay below, but we went through all the guns. And I think a lot of, we kind of discussed this, gunplay felt very similar to Cold War as well. I really liked just the way the guns felt, to be honest with you. They felt, I don't know, I really don't even know how to, they didn't feel heavy. They felt like very, I'm going to say Cold War a lot, but a little bit of like Black Ops 1 almost. I know that sounds kind of wild for me to say that, but it kind of felt like that mechanically. And using the XM4, using the PDW was super fun to use. And then there was another gun with had like this, I think the PDW had a crazy blueprint. By the way, the blueprints in Treyarch games, I mean, just that alone is enough for me to be like, I can't wait to grind this game. So there's a blueprint there. Those were fun. I'm trying to think of another gun that I really, really liked. The SWAT was back, but if you missed your 3-round burst, you were in deep trouble. But if you hit your 3-round burst, it was connecting, and it was connecting really, really well. So I think the guns are going to be very fun to use, but there's a couple things that I really want to talk about besides the guns. Obviously, they brought back the kind of the gunfighter, what do they call it? A gunsmith. I'm just not a fan of gunsmith. I really, really miss the days when I go back and play all these old CODs. When I go back, I know this may make me sound like an old man, but like I just like going back to Call of Duty 4, MW2, Black Ops 1. You pick your gun, you had like 1 or 2 attachments to pick from. You kind of based around your play from that, like, okay, I want it to be able to shoot quick, so I'm gonna use a quick draw. And it's like, I just wish they would have that. I open up the gunsmith, my brain's like that guy, you know that meme where he's like looking like this and rubbing his head and there's like this chalk everywhere, like it's like, I don't want to have to figure this stuff out anymore. I want to pick something that says, hey, you'll move faster with this. Hey, you'll reload faster. Hey, you'll have a better aim down sight with this. And then that's all I have to do. 1 click. So I do really, really miss that. I thought Treyarch might bring it back, but obviously it looks like this might be the system for a long time now. But you know, it still works. But let's move on to the perks, because I think the perks are something that I really, really want to talk about. And as you can see below, there is a lot of good perks. They're very easy to understand. Like, they do what they say. Ghost is something that I'm thinking about at the top of my head. You do have to be moving again, which is big. But they brought back a lot of the fan favorites. Forward intel came back from Vanguard, where you can like see where the people spawn. I would always do that in a 1v1 of Vanguard, and people always thought I was hacking. So fun fact of the day, if you want to see where people are spawning, use forward intel. But there was a couple perks. There was a spy perk. I forget what it's called right now because we're just going off the top of my head. But the spy perk, it made you look like the other team, like you were on the other team. I don't know how to describe it, but you could just walk over to the other side and they wouldn't know that you're like, you lose your icon. So they're like, oh, wait a second, that's my teammate. And then it's like, no, wait a second, he's got that perk. I used it a couple times. Your name actually gets blacked out of the kill feed, so they don't know who it is. I thought that was kind of a cool little thing. There is a perk to counter it though. So before you go, oh, that's stupid, it's gonna be annoying, and it may be annoying, but there is a perk to counter it. So they always had stuff that countered the other perk, which is always needed in a Call of Duty. If you got a perk, it's got to be able to be countered and back and forth. So that is good that they did that. So that perk was the one that I really thought about. But if you can see the perks now, they have little different colors. So there's red, there's green, there's blue. And if you have 3 of the same color, you actually get an additional, I guess it's perk. It's an additional perk. So if you can see, I have 3 red ones. I can't remember what I chose. It was like gung ho, double time, and like well, there was one other. And when I have all 3 in the red, I actually got access to better movement. I think if I get a kill, I would actually get my health respawned, and that was the health regenerated, and that was the 4th perk given to me. But you don't get that if you get like a red one, green one, blue one. You don't get that 4th perk. It's only when you line them up in the colors that you're using, and it's almost like a perk package. Like, okay, he likes to run and gun, okay, he gets extra health. He likes to camp, he gets this. He likes to do this, he gets this. Oh, he likes to be an objective player, he gets like extra stuff towards his score streaks. So I think I loved that addition. I really did. That was one of the biggest things that I was thinking about while I was going back to make this video. I was like, that perk system is really good this year. And we need a good perk system, because I think that makes you kind of play differently. You can try different things. You know, you may want to go the red, you may want to go the green, you might want to mix them up, and that's kind of what it's all about. The wild cards are back. A lot of people were asking me about the attachments one. 8 attachments are back, guys. Unfortunately, I think that's I'm not a big fan of that personally. The 8 attachments, really, I don't know. It's too many. It's too many. It's just too many of them, Master Skywalker. There's too many of them. Oh, sorry. That's terrible. But yeah, they have that. I'm trying to think what else they had. Extra perk. Obviously an extra perk. I was going to use that a little bit. So you have like the 3. So this is what I did. I had 3 of the matching red ones. I got extra health, and then I added another perk to get like I can't remember what I had as it was like 4 perks, and you have the 5th of the specialist. It's crazy. So you can make some magic happen with the perks. I like that. I like that. Again, going back to the guns too, the MP5 also. That was the one I was thinking of. The MP5, it's not called the MP5. I kept calling it something else. It was like the C5 or CF or something like that. That was really good. The XM4 was really good. Again, these are like very base guns. Everybody was using a gun. It was an SMG, but it was like it wasn't like automatic spray fire. And I should know what this is called. Maybe the editor can flash it on the screen right now. Everybody and their grandmother was using it. Everybody. So if you're looking for a meta from me, that might be it right there. But I think multiplayer is going to be where I grind the most. I obviously, we know that we're going to be getting the prestige system back, and we're going to be getting camo grind. Obviously, we'll have that pop up on your screen. The 4 that they showed us, is there just something magical about grinding dark matter on a Treyarch game called Black Ops? I don't know about you. I really want to do a series where we grind for dark matter. I don't know how we'll do it, but I really, really want to do it, because this is the first year that I think I'm going to really main multiplayer, and having prestige and having camo grinds, it's going to give the game so much life. It's so much to grind for. So I don't see this game just like dying in 1 month like some of the other CODs have in the last couple months or last couple years, which is great. It's just great news. Another thing that I was thinking about was, will they add more camos or add more levels once you get to max prestige? They were talking about a surprise that you would get if you get to the master prestige. So I'm excited for that. I kind of want to try to get it, to be honest. I mean, I don't know if I've ever been a master prestige before, except for Call of Duty World at War. I was 10th prestige. I'm flexing on the haters right now. Little side note for multiplayer, ranked is coming in season 1 that they said. So this will be the earliest it's ever released in a Call of Duty before. We've always talked about how it kind of like they waited till January or February because, you know, there's a little lull in that time after the Christmas period and everybody plays for a little bit, and it's like, okay, drop ranked and get a little spike. Nah, they're dropping it right away, which is, I think, is very important, especially with me being in the CDL COD competitive area, the Boston Breach. It's going to be something to grind and play and also watch, because watching ranked play stuff is really fun for me. The new game mode that we played, it was like Protect the President. For me, it wasn't my thing. It was like a game of team deathmatch, but one guy had extra health and was in like last stand, and you tried to take the other person's president down pretty much, but it just kept going. So like if you take out the guy, another guy would become the Protect the President, and you just keep going and going, and I think till you got to a certain amount of points. So I'll be grinding hard point. I'll be grinding domination, search and destroy, team deathmatch, free for all. Like those 5, they just hit, and I just love it. So I do want to revisit movement just one more time, and I know I kind of said Cold War movement with like steroids almost is kind of the vibe I was feeling. You know, the way you can move around, and I want you to. I know exactly what some of you are saying. Like, I did not like Cold War movement. I know it. I know how many people are saying, they're looking at their screen going, I did not like Cold War movement. This is not good. Give it a chance. Give it a chance. And I would not say that because I'm not going to lie to you. Cold War for me, it was a decent COD, but it wasn't my favorite. And this one, I came in with an open mind. I was like, okay, I'm going to get used to this. This is the COD we're playing. And it changes everything, especially when you know you can move a little bit more than you could in Cold War. Cold War is very slide, that's it. Slide, that's it. This is all over the place. So movement demons, just trust me. Oh, there is more to even talk about. Maps, and we need to talk about sprays. Okay, let's talk about sprays first. Sprays and examinations and emotes. The winner circle is back. I personally like this. I know it's maybe something that you guys think maybe is a little, I guess the word is corny. Ops 3, Ops 4 had it. You're doing this in the middle of an Ops 4 lobby and you're like, what is this guy doing? Or you're playing guitar. I kind of miss it. I kind of miss when COD had that little Treyarch fun in it. I think it'll be cool. The winner circle, I sometimes wish they could speed it up a little bit because I feel like the winner circle takes like forever to get back to the main menu. Or if you didn't want to watch the winner circle, you should just be able to back out if you want to. Like, I don't want to see this, I'm out. So I get that. The sprays are cool. The only issue I had with sprays, if you look, the left, to do it is the left D-pad on the controller. And the left D-pad is also the button to make your gun single fire. So I'm trying to like hold down my thing to do like the examination and then my gun will keep going into single fire. So I feel like maybe we could try to switch the controls around, like maybe make it the right D-pad or the up D-pad. Because I don't know any people that really use their up D-pad and like point something out in a multiplayer match. Like I can't, like requesting ammo. Have you ever requested ammo in a multiplayer match? Why don't we make up single fire and then make left be able to examine and spray so it's a smoother operation? That would be my feedback. And then, okay, let's go into the maps. We'll wrap up multiplayer. We're going on a tangent. This might be a 45-minute video. But you know what? I want to give you my honest thoughts. I played for like 4 hours today, and I think this is a fair thing. Also, the lobbies were extremely sweaty, side note. So, you know, you're watching people play and you're like, wow, they're all going like, you know, a couple people were dominating, but like, you know, I was going probably 25 and 24 because everybody's just really good at the game. You know, it's just the way it is. And I know some people will probably say, oh, they don't have their Cronus on. They don't have a... Listen, all those people in there, they're good people. I met a lot of them. Just trust me. These lobbies are the sweatiest lobbies you'll ever play. Trust, coming from me. They are the sweatiest lobbies. So just take it easy on some of these people out there, man. Especially me, because I went like 25 and 24, and I would love to be a better. I would love to have shown the streaks off. We need to talk about streaks too. Streaks were pretty fun. I did have a couple games where the streaks I used, I got to use them all. The footage, I don't think I have the footage, unfortunately, because it was after the next event. I played after the broadcast was over. The missile, Hellstorm missiles, super overpowered, which is good. Chopper gunner, absolutely nasty, which it should be. Kill streaks should be super hard to get, but they should be hard to take down. If you earn a chopper gunner, that thing should take like 3 or 4 launchers to get down. And the launcher should also be harder to like hit the target, I think, as well. Like, no more of this lock on, you know, make them aim it at the thing. The UAV, I think, was a little high. I think it was like 650 and 750 for counter UAV. Maybe we think about tweaking that. I know they don't like to have everybody on the radar all the time, but Call of Duty's always like in your face, you know, that it's high intense action. So I think we try to lower that a little bit if we can. Let's lower the streaks cost. I know there's a perk. I know what you're gonna say. There's a perk to do that. Well, just maybe knock it down for the casual, the regular person, 50 without having to use the perk. That's my suggestion. But streaks were fun. Streaks were fun when I got them. I didn't get a full like experience with them because it's just so dang sweaty. There is a nuke. Somebody did get a nuke. It wasn't me, but there is a nuke available in this game. I'm actually really excited for that because I thought they might just do a nuclear medal, but there is an actual nuke. So hey, all y'all people trying to get your nukes up, good luck. And then last, let's talk about the multiplayer maps. We're on a rant right now, and I love this. I love talking about Call of Duty, man. I love it so much. This might not even cut. Like, this might just be straight up uploaded. The maps were really, really fun. They told us in the briefing, they literally straight up said, we are not doing any large maps. These are going to be medium and small maps. We see what the player base wants. We want high intense action. Call of Duty's go, 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 go. And that's exactly what they're giving us. So there's some maps that were so small you would spawn and they would be right in front of you as soon as you spawn. Like, it was wild. The best map, which I only got to play for about 5 seconds, was the map from the beta that you can jump out the windows in the pool. I think it was called, not High Rise, it was Sky Rise, High Rise, something Rise, I think. Great map. All the maps looked good. I think we could probably add a little bit more saturation to some of them. What I always love about Treyarch games is how colorful, bright, vibrant, and they're doing that with the camos and the dark matter and the gold and the diamond. But I think we need to do it as well with the apps, like the maps and the environment and all that stuff. So saturation, bump up, color, bump up, and just make this thing fun to look at. You know, let's stop with the dull. Even with the Cold War map, the sand map, I don't know what it was called right now. Shoot. Anyway, standoff? No, that's not it. Anyway, satellite. It was so like vibrant and colorful. The sand was like a yellow almost instead of like the tan. So let's bump that up a little bit. And man, I'm not saying this because I am invited to COD Next. I want to make this abundantly clear. I have some stuff we're going to talk about in a little bit. We're going to talk about zombies and we're going to talk about Warzone. And you're going to get my actual thoughts. So before you go, oh, this guy's paid off, keep watching the video. But for me, walking out of this multiplayer little section of playing, I'm going to give the multiplayer probably an 8 or a 9 out of 10. And I'm just super excited to grind it. 8 or 9 out of 10. I think that's a really fair rating. We'll have to see what the rest of the guns are. We'll have to see the rest of the maps. And dude, I think they kind of crushed it with multiplayer. I really, really believe that. Let's talk about zombies now. Let's talk about zombies. We were partied up with my boy Chopper. I just want to do a quick plug of the podcast. Me and Chop do a podcast called the Going Dark Podcast. We will be doing a new episode tomorrow to talk about all our thoughts together. If you want to subscribe, that'll be in the description below. Also, I'm just going to plug my social media real quickly. Tdawgsmitty on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. Those are the 3 I use the most. So anyway, back to the video. Zombies. Let me preface by saying I cannot tell you the last time I played zombies. I played Cold War for a little bit, the first map. I didn't play any other maps. Before that, it was probably Black Ops 2. That's probably the last one, Buried. Because to me, the zombie storyline, the whole thing just got so complicated and convoluted that I'm like, what is going on? I get there's a story. I get there's a really cool storyline, but you lost me when we were doing all sorts of stuff in the ether and I was doing this and that. And there was one map I remember like jumping out into like space. I think it was Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 4. And I went, I don't think this is for me, little bro, anymore. So, but Chop has been telling me, bro, trust me, get back on zombies this year. It's going to be a good year. He's had the pleasure of going out to Treyarch Studio and playing it. He played the first map, and also we played Liberty Falls. So he's now played both maps. And he's just told me like, hey man, you should try to grind zombies this year. It's going to be a good year. Treyarch's got our back. They know what they're doing. And I was like, well, Treyarch's always had my back, so let's do it then. So we loaded up with him. We were with Sally. I'm sure you guys know Sally as a dog. And my first impressions are I really, really like the map. It's got the West Virginia feel, which is not too far from me. I'm in Maryland, so I got the idea of where we're at. And it was very simple, which is what zombies for me always was. Simple. You go in, you load in, you shoot zombies, you keep going till as many levels as you can. There's a couple things here and there to unlock door wise. You do this, you do that, you get a pack-a-punch, and then you get out of there when you get out of there. And this is exactly what Liberty Falls felt like to me. Here's my one problem, and I don't know if this is a problem that can be solved, but I need to bring it up to the devs, and I hope they'll contact me maybe about this. But can we bring back the starter pistol? Is there any possible way? There's loadouts. I get that there's loadouts. I get that's the way the game was planned and made. But is there a way to like possibly like do a version, you know, like how back in the day, like Advanced Warfare had a version with jetpacks and they didn't have a jetpack mode, like it was just a regular boost on the ground? Can we make a mode where, okay, we have loadouts and then we just have a starter pistol and wall buys? Is that a possibility? Because if it is, I would really, really, really love to have that, because I miss the frantic beginning of zombies where you're a little bit nervous, you know, they're barging in. And that's another thing, they got rid of like the wall stuff where you board the walls. And I'm talking from a perspective of 10 years ago, guys. So if you're like, dude, they haven't had wall buys and all that crap since like 2016, you're looking at a noob here, so it is what it is. But I miss the wooden thing, and you're in the vibe is like, oh my gosh, it's scary. I only have a pistol. I gotta get enough money to get the next gun, and they're coming through the boards, and it's eerie. And I just miss that starter like anxiousness of, okay, we gotta get moving here. And so maybe there's a possibility that's a thing. If it's not a thing, maybe you can't like upgrade your loadout right away. Maybe you start with a pistol, but you can put attachments on it, but you have to do some other way to get like your XM4. Like you don't get an XM4 right off the rip. That doesn't ruin it for me, but it just kind of makes it like less of a experience where you're just trying to survive. It feels like, oh, okay, we're already kind of prepared. We spawned in prepared. But I loved going into like the church area in this map. They had like I'm just gonna say the ether area. I don't know if that's right or not, but if it is, 10 out of 10 for me. That area was cool. It's where you pack-a-punch your gun. There is no animation anymore for pack-a-punch. You just get it right away. The guns look fantastic. I'm gonna be honest with you. The camos for Treyarch, they just know what they're doing, always. It's crazy to me. I'm trying to think of like zip lines. They had zip lines, which was pretty cool. I liked that. The mystery box, I did the mystery box one time because I couldn't find it because I didn't know what I was doing. And I got the teddy bear, which is not a teddy bear anymore. It's like some sort of like rabbit or something. And so I went, okay, cool. And I looked over at Chopper, who was sitting right next to me. It was kind of cool. And he had the ray gun. So thanks, Call of Duty. Really appreciate that. I guess they were rewarding the people that actually play zombies, which makes sense. But I used the gobble gum. I used the new perk where you can punch the zombies. I don't know what level it stops, but you can punch one-hit the zombies to a certain level, and that was actually super fun too. The one thing I didn't talk about in multiplayer, I guess we'll talk about in Warzone, but you now can hold your melee and it pulls out a knife. So like if you played Apex before and you hold Y or hold triangle, if you hold triangle, you will obviously switch to your knife, and then you'll be running and all that good stuff, and you run faster. Well, it's the same thing now in Call of Duty. Zombies, Warzone, multiplayer, pull out your knife. You always have a knife equipped. So even if you have a pistol, you have a primary, a pistol, and your knife is always there. So you can always just equip it and start sprinting. I thought that was cool because I had a couple situations where the zombies were chasing me. I switched to my knife and I just said, oh, let's get out of here. Get to a zip line and get moving. Bought Juggernog, bought a couple of the perks. I mean, they work the same. Gobble gums. The gobble gum system, I don't really know or fully understand, so I'm not going to comment on that. I did get something from the gobble gum. I would stay tuned for when we do our podcast tomorrow where Chop can kind of go on it and rant and explain to me like I'm a third grader what the heck all that stuff means. But overall, the map seemed fun. It's a simple map. I'm excited to try the other one too. I wish we would have been able to try both of them because the other map is, Chopper has told me, it's a bigger map. It's more to do. There's boats, there's Easter eggs, there's all that stuff. And I'm sure there's Easter eggs on Liberty Falls, but that map is just a bigger environment. It's kind of like a transit vibe, probably bigger than transit. So yeah, that's another thing. I really want to dive into zombies. Obviously, there's going to be camos for zombies that we can grind, and I want to be able to do multiplayer and zombies a lot this year. I want to really learn the zombies community. So if you're a zombies person, reach out to me, DM me, talk to me about the story, tell me what I'm missing, tell me what I should read or watch. Just because like I really want to get invested in the storyline this year and kind of find out what's going on, because they've been really crushing the marketing. For me, zombies, I'm gonna go with a 7 out of 10. I think the starter pistol would make it so much cooler. I like the map. I think the perks are great. So bring me back the starter pistol, bring me back the building thing, and make the zombies start like actual level 1. And I think we'd have like a 9. I think that's my one issue with zombies, is that like make it a little bit more like the OG zombies, in my opinion. Okay, it's time to rant a little bit, guys. Let's talk about Warzone. Let me preface this by saying, devs, this is not a shot at you at all. This is not a shot at you. This is not a shot at anybody. This is just me. This is me. Just I'm gonna go for it. And I hope this doesn't ruin my chances of anything, but of coming to next COD next year or whatever. I need to speak my mind and be able to speak it, but speak it in a respectful manner. When I played Warzone today, and let me tell you this before you go, oh, this guy hates Warzone. He hates Warzone. I grinded. You might not know my story. I grinded Warzone from 2020 to 2023. I grinded it every day. Class setups, news. I was playing it, streaming it 6-7 hours a day. I was the Warzone guy. Nobody knew me for anything else but Warzone. Warzone 1, one of my favorite games of all time. Verdansk, Rebirth, everything. Cold War integration, unbelievable. I can tell you every single detail that's ever happened in Warzone. I know Warzone like the back of my hand, okay? That's a little flex, but I need to let you guys know that I'm not just coming from a perspective of I don't know anything. So for me, Warzone, it needs to let me start off with this. It needs to break away. It needs to go away. Not go away, disappear. It needs to be its own entity of Call of Duty. Multiplayer, campaign, zombies. That's COD. Warzone is Warzone. Separate entities. Because these communities, I don't think they're the same. I know their goal is to get them to play everything. But I can tell you right now, a lot of the people that I know in the Warzone scene don't play multiplayer. They just don't care about it, because they came back to COD during 2019, 2020, played Warzone with their bros, and now they're a Warzone person. They stopped playing COD after MW2 or Black Ops 2, after the Golden Age, and they took a break to Warzone. And I think there's a different type of person now. There's a Warzone person that they just need to cater to them. Let everything be in there. And I think they kind of started to do it. Now, if you didn't know this, Warzone is getting their own camos this year. So they're starting to do this where there is a camo grind for Warzone. So it's not like people are going to get the multiplayer camos and then they can do that if they want to. But now it's like it's a dedicated grind on Warzone, which I like, because it feels like they're separating a little bit. It's like, okay, hey, Warzone people, camos over here. And to me, I've just lost the passion for Warzone personally. I think it comes to a point right now where the game has been through so much on Warzone. You have the Warzone 2020 era, which was just it felt like buttery smooth, man. The only issues we had was hackers and like terrible metas like the DMR. But besides that, man, there was a lot of good stuff. Floating loot. The buy stations were easy to navigate. The menus were easy to navigate. The inviting friends was easy to navigate. The guns were easy. The gunsmith was easy to understand. Everything was just easy. UI easy. And it made picking up Warzone easy. It made it easy. And I think now we're getting complicated. We were complicated in Warzone 2. We came to Warzone 2. We got absolutely slapped upside the head. I don't know one person that liked Warzone 2. I have not a lot of positive things to say about Warzone 2. The bag system got too complicated. The buy system, the UI got crazy. I'm still trying to figure out how to navigate that menu 4 years later. And then again, now we have Warzone 3 or whatever you want to call it, Warzone 1 by Raven and Sledgehammer. And this time they're pretty much trying to bring it back to what Warzone 1 was, with quality of life improvements, which they've done a very, very good job. I think the main problem with this Warzone currently, Urzikstan has never gotten any updates. And Rebirth Island, again, it's a great map. But at some point as a COD player, we gotta realize it's time to get something new, okay? Rebirth's great. Vondel was pretty solid. Fortune's Keep was pretty solid. But at the same time, people just keep going back to Rebirth. And eventually, Rebirth's gonna get so stale that when we get a new map, people are just gonna keep going back to Rebirth. Keep going back to Rebirth. And it's like, guys, we need new stuff. Eventually, you want new stuff. It's the same thing on the multiplayer side of things. You can only play raids so many times. We need to start requesting new maps. And that's the benefit of having all these new maps in multiplayer. There's not one remaster. Nuketown's not back off the rip or anything. So we need to have that perspective coming into this Warzone. Like, okay, we got a new map. Great. And I actually really, really, really like the map. It's like a Nuketown, how they create Nuketown, pretty much. It's like, it's pretty much mannequin site, the houses, all that stuff. It's a really, really good premise. I love it. It made me feel like it was a blackout. It felt like it could have been a blackout map. If you guys know what that is, it's Treyarch's first attempt at a BR, and it came out in 2017, 2018. And it was such a good BR. The map was one of the best BR maps of all time. So I think it's a good map. I think it needs a little bit of color, like saturation again. It was a little dull, a little stale vibe, but it was a good map. But the problem is the game is so complicated when you drop down. It's honestly, the multiplayer movement feels better than the Warzone movement. I don't know what to say about that or how to describe it. When I say clunky in a way for Warzone, it did feel a little clunky. Like it felt a little off. Something didn't feel right. And again, when you look at the loot on the ground, guys, it's just, you may call me an idiot. Listen, you can call me an idiot if you want. I got a little accent. I might be a little dumb, but I look down at this stuff and I go, what in the world am I looking at? I can't find what I just want to go through, pick up all the ammo, pick up the plates and move on. You know, Fortnite does such a good job of telling you, okay, this is this, this is this, this is this. Get it moving, get it going. You're gone. And that's what Warzone 1 did really well too. So can we simplify? Can we bring back floating loot like Warzone 1? Is that a possibility? If it can, please. I don't care what you got to do. We got to bring that back. But other than that, I think it's a good resurgence map. I think it definitely can be improved. They even told us it was like an alpha build, very early build. So that's positive. I mean, we were not even getting the final product. But I think too, we need to focus on the big maps again as well. El Mazrah, or the map. What is the map for Warzone 2? I can't remember. Was it El Mazrah? I think it's El Mazrah. Anyway, besides the point, whatever map that was, it was a great map. It was paired with a bad movement system and clunky mechanics. Those kind of maps we need. We need more big BR maps as well. I know the player base may not like it, but I think there's a lot of people out there. I even saw Swag commented about Resurgence. He's like, hey man, I'm a little tired of Resurgence. I want a better big map. And I know Verdansk is coming back, but will it play the same on this new engine? I don't know. I think my final thoughts for this would be, pull this game off and make it its own thing. And I know I said that already, but I'm saying like engine included. So you could still be playing on the Modern Warfare 3 engine of like the movement and slide canceling and all that stuff. Cause I think people like where the Warzone movement is right now. You could keep that and add Treyarch's Area 99 map, add Verdansk, and I think that's your ticket. What they're putting out now, I don't think it's going to do well. I just personally don't think it's going to do well. I think people will think I think they'll compare it to Warzone 2. I really do. I think that's in my heart of heart, I think they'll compare it to Warzone 2. So I think Warzone, their best bet is just keeping it where it's at right now, separating it, making it its own unique thing, have a team on that, updating it and all that stuff, and let the multiplayer zombies and campaign do their thing over there. Separate entities. They're still going to make Call of Duty buttloads of money because people are going to buy the bundles and all that stuff. Don't worry, they're still going to buy the game. So yeah, Warzone for me, at a rating out of 10, I hope this doesn't get me in trouble, but I'm going to go 4. a 4 out of 10. I'm sorry. Right now, for me, it is just not where it should be. I'm sorry. But I want to give you honest feedback. I want to give you honest feedback. I want to give people that are watching this honest thoughts. So I'm going to do it. But if you summarize all those, you know, like a 9, a 7, a 4, you average that thing out to about a 7 out of 10. If you're here for multiplayer zombies and campaign, you're going to love this. You really are. You're going to love this game. I truly think that you should buy this game if you are playing it for multiplayer zombies and campaign. I really, really do. That is not me blowing smoke up your end. If you're excited for the new Warzone and you watch today and you're not excited anymore, let your feedback be heard, but do it in the right way. And I would also agree with you. I don't think that that product is the best that it can be right now. And I think they just need to go away from it. And you know what? If you're looking at me going, hey, T-Dawg just got bought off, the dude's a shill. Okay, let me give you a non-shill opinion then if that's what you think this is. Wait for Game Pass. Game Pass is on Xbox. Game Pass is on PC. It's like $9.99. Right now, looking at Game Pass, you can get it for $1. $1. So get it for $1. Get the beta. Play the beta. And give your honest feedback. And play the game. And if you don't like it, don't buy it. But to me, the Game Pass thing makes a ton of sense. If I were somebody, if I'm looking at saving my money or thinking about being, listen, I get it. I get the economy right now. If your 60 or 70 is important, try the Game Pass. It's like the old school Blockbuster. Go rent a game, see if you like it. If you don't like it, return it. And if you do like it, go spend some money and go buy it. But me, I think Treyarch's got our best interests in mind this year. They always have. They always have. Look back at the history, even when they were probably forced to do some stuff, that they probably didn't want to do. They've always had our back. So again, Call of Duty, thank you so much for sending me out to DC, which was very close. I really loved that it was East Coast, best coast. This is my honest thoughts. I mean, it's like a 40-minute video, very little cutting going on, but I just wanted to kind of treat you guys, like we're homies. We're hanging out. We're talking about Call of Duty. So if you enjoyed this, I really appreciate you can leave a like, comment down below. What are you most excited for? Will you be buying the game? And again, I don't know what else to say, but besides, thanks for the support. It's been great growing the channel. More content coming your way soon. We'll probably live stream the beta a little bit. Just excited for this year at COD, man. I'm excited to be able to grind the whole year. But there you go. That's my thoughts. We'll see you in the next video.